The book of Judges, the seventh book of the Bible, chronicles a tumultuous period in Israel's history between the death of Joshua and the establishment of the monarchy. It covers roughly 300 years, during which Israel repeatedly falls into cycles of sin, oppression, repentance, and deliverance. Key themes and events. 1. Israel's cycle of sin. After Joshua's death, the Israelites failed to fully drive out the Canaanite inhabitants of the land, leading them to adopt Canaanite practices and worship false gods. This disobedience results in a recurring cycle. Israel sins. God allows them to be oppressed by neighboring nations. They cry out in repentance, and God raises up a judge to deliver them. 2. The role of the judges. Judges were leaders, both military and spiritual, raised by God to deliver Israel from oppression. They were not kings, but charismatic leaders who guided the people during times of crisis. Some of the most notable judges include Othniel, the first judge, who delivered Israel from the oppression of the Mesopotamians. Ehud, a left-handed judge who assassinated the Moabite king Eglon and led Israel to victory. Deborah, a prophetess and the only female judge who, alongside the military leader Barak, led Israel to victory over the Canaanites. Gideon, a reluctant leader who, with a small army of 300 men, defeated the Midianites through God's guidance. Jephthah, a judge who delivered Israel from the Ammonites, but tragically vowed to sacrifice the first thing that came out of his house, leading to the sacrifice of his daughter. Samson, a Nazirite with extraordinary strength who fought the Philistines, but was ultimately betrayed by Delilah. Despite his flaws, he destroyed a Philistine temple in his final act, killing many of Israel's enemies. 3. Moral and spiritual decline. The book of Judges highlights Israel's moral and spiritual decline over time. Each cycle of sin and deliverance often left the nation in a worse condition. The repeated phrase, "In those days there was no king in Israel. Everyone did what was right in his own eyes," encapsulates the lawlessness and moral confusion of the period. 4. Civil war and anarchy. The book ends with two disturbing stories that illustrate the depths of Israel's depravity: the story of Micah's idol and the Levite's concubine. These events lead to a civil war between the tribe of Benjamin and the other Israelite tribes, reflecting the chaos and lack of central authority. Conclusion. The book of Judges is a sobering account of Israel's failure to remain faithful to God and the consequences of their disobedience. It underscores the need for strong, godly leadership and foreshadows the eventual demand for a king in Israel. Despite the cycles of sin and deliverance, the book ultimately points to God's patience, mercy, and willingness to rescue his people when they turn back to him.
There's a place still near my wandering heart. It was there in a dream last night. You would sing those songs on Sunday morning with a beauty that could make me cry. But there's no song that you could sing. There's no verse that you could read. That altar call might have set your soul free, but it didn't do a thing for me. I swear I can feel your aching prayer. Oh Lord, bring my boy home. That sacred book you raised me on still whispers deep in my bones. But there's no no verse that you could read that altar call might have set your soul free, but it didn't do a thing for me. Remember laughing every time you drove a little faster over that dip in the road, singing along to Don Francisco. He's alive, always put a thrill in my soul. Song that you could sing, there's no verse that you could read that altar call might have set your soul